I know, right? That new intro, pure fire. Good morning, welcome back. How is everybody doing? I know it's been a couple days, but I have had a couple crazy days. I was at my sister's wedding last weekend in Bend, Oregon, and so I was spending a lot of time with family. But anyway, good morning, we're back, and we got a lot of stuff going on today, and I hope y'all are gonna enjoy it. First and foremost, I wanna let you guys know that I am doing the oil gallery gaskets on this VHR35. A lot of you guys have been asking, can you please make a video on it? Can you please show us how to do it, blah, blah, blah. So today, that's what we're doing. This is actually going in the silver car across the way. We've been waiting for George from Sac City to deliver it. And so it's here, it's on a stand, and it's ready to go. And I'm kind of excited to do it and show you guys, because looking through all my videos, I was like, dang, I don't have anything like this. So we're doing it today. Another thing too, I want to make a huge shout out to my buddy Alec. If you guys enjoyed that intro, I'm really digging it. He's the one that put that together. I didn't even ask him to do it. So, you know, I'm really thankful and really blessed to be working with such good people. And, you know, he kind of did it out of the blue. You guys saw that I was kind of putting together intro, a white boy intro or something like that, and he just took it to the next gangster level. So Alec, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much for all you do. He's been a huge supporter and stuff, and I'm gonna drop his link right here. Give him a follow, check him out. He does some sick, crazy stuff. And if you guys have seen some of my other stuff on my Instagram, we made like a Need for Speed edit. He did that. The man's a genius. So anyway, big shout out to you, Alec. Thank you for making this intro and like the channel, you know, hyped up to the next level. So that being said, let's get started on this. Okay, and first things first, I want to go over the fact that the engine is not in the car. So some accessories, some stuff isn't on here that you're going to actually run into, but it's not a big deal. After you guys put the car in the garage, in the shop, whatever, you take the front off, the engine will be exposed. There'll be a lot more pulleys and accessories on here, but it's really not that big of a deal, and it's really not that much more work to get it down to this, you know, phase of where it's at. You'll have to take out the bolts for the AC compressor, move it to the side like I do. Obviously, you'll, you know, take off the radiator hose off the upper and the lower, and then on this side you'll take off the pulley here, the belt, the alternator bracket, and the alternator will be here, and then there'll be a couple plugs here and on the back side of that. And then right here is the power steering pump, just like on the VQDEs. You'll take off the 14 here, the 12 here, kind of rotate it off to the side, and do the same thing like you do on any of the other engines, where you pull the main stuff off of the cover, and then it'll leave it exposed like this. So this is pretty much starting from taking the accessories off and the stuff that you need to get off to expose the bolts for the timing cover. But all in all, it'll give you a better visual representation of what you need to do and what you're looking for on here. And then, like I said, it's the same engine, so after we pull the cover off, it'll make it real easy to show and explain exactly in detail what you have to do to change them and to put it back together. So first things first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the remaining accessories here. We're gonna pull off the balancer. We're gonna pull off, actually I don't know if I even have to pull this off. I do, there's actually a bolt behind it. So we'll pull this off, and then, you know, the couple brackets. So give you guys kind of what it looks like right now, and then I'll explain everything that I go over and take off as we do it. So first and foremost, one thing I want to make sure you guys know, make sure you empty all the oil out, because the lower pan will be coming off. So make sure that all the oil is out, drained as much as you can, because when you take those 10mm bolts off and you pull it off, you may get a little bit wet. That being said, we are going to be taking off now all of this stuff. Full disclosure, I want you guys to know that I did loosen all the bolts that I'll be taking off right now, and the reason why I did that is so that way I can show you guys in like real time what's going to be coming off and how it's coming off, so that way I can hold the camera and do it with the gun and show you guys. So if you guys ever need to reference it, that's the reason why. So the bolts are loose, but I haven't taken anything off yet because I want to be able to show you. So if this is in the car, the first thing you want to do is you'll take off the 10s on here and here for these brackets, and then the other one is here. So we'll take those off, kind of just pull it off to the side. There will be wire harnesses attached to it, so you'll kind of just fold it back. Same with this one, will be on this side and you'll fold it back. So we'll put that over here as well. The other thing you will do is there's this 12 right here. This one I actually haven't loosened yet. So is it a 14 or a 12? Yeah, 12. So you'll undo this. You can see it's on the front part of the cover. All you do is loosen it off and then it'll just be loose. You don't have to do anything else with it. You'll take this off, move it back, and then we'll continue to start going around here. So the 12, that one's coming off. Move this off to the side here. And you can see this kind of just floats here because if you follow it up, it goes to the fuel rail. We're not going to do anything with that. We don't want to bend it. We don't want to break anything like that. So we'll put the 14 on here. And then next thing you'll go to is a power steering bracket. You can take the 14 off here, 14 off here, which are the two inner ones here and here, and then the front one. The reason why we do this one first is because you can see that the bolt actually shares with the bracket here. So if we pull this one off first, then it exposes the bracket for the tensioner on this side. So put those together. Sorry if it's a little bit shaky. Like I said, I'm trying to do it so you guys can see in real time everything coming off. So that one and that one. These are long bolts that go through. We're gonna pull this out. And now you can see it's exposing quite a bit. The next thing that we'll do is we'll pull this off. Make sure if there's anything on the back side of it, the tension or anything. I mean, sorry, this clip, not a tensioner, the clip that you keep it on with it. So I haven't done anything to take off any of the bolts for the timing cover yet. Like I said, this is just to pull off the stuff that's necessary to remove. The last thing that we need to do, and this bolt right here is on like 150 foot-pounds, and it's probably rusted. So you may need a longer extension on the 19 and try and use like a 1/2-inch drive because you might break a 3/8 drive. So you can see it's already loose. Wait, where's my 19? I grabbed a 17. Here we go. So we'll pull the crank bolt out. Even if this is rusted like this, to here, it shouldn't be that difficult. You have to wiggle it side to side because there is a keyway you can see on there that kind of holds it. But if you wiggle it side to side and pull back, it will come off, exposing. Now pretty much the dipstick, you take off the 10 here, and then you'll pull, there's an O-ring in here, so you gotta kind of pull up on this, pull the dipstick out so it's out of your way, and then the last things we're gonna do are pull these 10s off of here, and this front will actually come off. There's an O-ring inside here, so if you just pull, it will come off. Keeping that in mind, there's gonna be an O-ring, so we'll have to lube it when we push it back on because we don't want it to tear, because if this leaks, you're gonna have to take off a whole bunch of stuff to fix it. Okay, now this bolt, you'll pull out. Sorry, it's like a balancing act because on here, you can see that if I don't, this will just fall right off of it. This clip is bad, so that's why if I'm like being real soft with it, that's why. So I need to get a new gun. It's been way too long. So then this, you'll wiggle and pull that out. So now the dipstick's out. And then like I said, this bolt, and this bolt, and then we'll take this part off. Okay, so then this tube will come out, and like I said, there's an O-ring on there. Okay, so now with that out of the way, you can see everything is pretty much exposed for us. The only other thing we have to do now is take the 10s around the lower pan off so we can get to the bolts that are coming through here and here on the front of the timing cover, and then we take all the ones around the outside off, and the cover will be ready to come off. All right, so the rest is pretty self-explanatory, so here we go. Okay, and as you guys can see, it doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes this thing is really stuck on, other times it falls off with just that little bit of weight of the oil. So, I mean, whatever, like I showed you guys, I want to show you, or told you guys, I want to show you guys in real time. So this is just sometimes something that happens, but we're gonna get it cleaned up and keep going. Okay, and now you guys can see, not too bad of a process. First thing you guys want to do, as soon as you take it off, you want to make sure that you set the timing. The keyway is down here, so it's nowhere near where it should be. It should be up here near this line on the oil pump. And also you can tell all the writing on the cams is upside down. These dots need to be up here. You can see there's like a little dent right here, and that's where the cam should be. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate it and set the cam timing, set it as close as we can, and then because you can see there's still the yellow line, the orange line, and the yellow line on here, the dual on here, the dual on there, we still have everything on the chains, so that will help us set the timing for when we put it back together. So we're gonna first rotate it, get it close as possible, and then we'll take the tensioner off, the chains off, and we'll start changing. Oh my, look at how bad. So this is the oil gallery gaskets. You guys can see firsthand, taking it off, how bad these are. You see this is broken, so there is actually a gap in here now. This has blown out, this is blown out. This is the importance of why you change the oil gallery gaskets, because once you guys start hearing like a knocking or whatever from low oil pressure, it's because these have blown out. This is very common on the VHR motors, and if we were to just put this in the car and do it, he'd probably blow this motor up. So it's good that we're doing this. It needs to be done probably to like every one of these things. So yeah, we'll be taking this off. And if you guys don't know, the oil gallery gaskets are this one, kind of looks like a gun, and then there's this one too, that is, you know, just a single one. So that's why we have to take this stuff off to get to those. Other thing we're gonna be doing, because we're in here, the water pump is actually ran by the timing chain, so we don't have to do this all over again. We'll change the water pump as well. I set the timing now on the crank and the cams. You can see where the keyway is at. The inner part of the tooth on the left side of the keyway is pointed straight up to this. It's not a huge deal where this is at, because this line is more what matters. The orange one on here will actually go to here, and the two yellow ones will go on the cams up top, but I'll explain that when it goes back together. So you set this where it looks like that. If you follow it up, you can see the dot, the line with the dot is now with the dot up here, that little dip. And if you come to this one, the dot and the line right here is to the dip, or the little divot up there. So this is pretty much set where it needs to be. So now we can take off the 210s on the tensioner. It's a hydraulic tensioner, so we'll pull this off. This will go limp, and then we'll take this and this off, pull the guide off, and we'll be able to take the chain off. So the nice thing about this is with these, there's only one screw up there that you have to get to, so you have to loosen this and kind of tilt this out of the way, but you can get to it with a screwdriver. These are probably loose anyway because they have blown out, and then when you put the new ones in, you can use a screwdriver to tighten that as well. So that's really the only little bugger with this. Other than that, all of this will be out of our way to get all of these off, and then we'll be able to put the new ones on. We have to clean off the gasket. We have to clean off the gasket of all of this, all around here, all of the O-ring portions where the bolts go through, and get all of the old silicone gasket off. So a lot of cleaning, but once this is all taken care of, it's very much worth it, because then we know we have peace of mind that these aren't going to be blowing out again. Okay, so with the tensioner and the rails gone and the chain off, you can see it gives us a lot of room to be able to get to all of them. Like I said, this 17 will have to come off so we can kind of bend this up and we can get this last one. These are all pretty much loose though. I started loosening them, but it's really not that difficult to take them off. So we're gonna start taking this one off, getting this off. I'm gonna loosen this, and then we're gonna take this one off, and then it'll be all cleaning from here. All right, just to show you, the bolt is out of there. It made just enough room for me to get the Phillips out behind it. This kind of just wiggles. You can see it's kind of loose. You do have to be careful because the timing can throw off, but you just use a 17 on here to bring it back to where it's at, and then we'll put the bolt back in. But thankfully, the new bolts aren't Phillips. They're actually Allens, you can see, and it makes it a whole lot easier and a whole lot stronger to tighten them, to get them down, and actually to reach the one in the back. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna take these off, and then we have to do the part that I hate, and that's taking off all the old gasket, because sometimes it can be really stuck on there. So we're gonna clean these off, clean this off, and I will get back to you guys in a bit, because now it's just cleaning time. Okay, and upon cleaning everything off, you can see this isn't cleaned off completely yet, but I did reinstall these with the new hardware, and it looks really good. You guys can see everything on here sits flush, and I also reinstalled this bolt. If that bolt wasn't in here though, you can see how much more room this actually makes. It's at a little bit of an angle now, but when that bolt's out, that's able to tilt up just enough to get to that 4mm Allen. It just makes it really nice to not have to use the Phillips. The Phillips can strip also, so yeah, but other than that, you can see this is all tight, secure, ready to go. No gasket parts sticking out. Everything is on here the way it should be. And now the last thing we have to do is change the water pump, and we're gonna be able to put the timing stuff all back together. So this is tight, all these are tight, this is tight. I did the front cover and cleaned it off, and now I just have to finish cleaning the rest of this off. We'll clean this off real good, spray it down with some brake clean, and then we'll put the timing stuff together, and we will be good to go. All right, so we just got back. I got a new water pump. I wanted to show you guys real quick. There are two seals on the water pump. One keeps the coolant passage, the other keeps the oil. So you can see there's one here and one here. The bigger one goes towards the frontmost part of the water pump. This green one is the bigger one. You can actually even see the lip going up on the water pump. And then the smaller of the two O-rings goes on the back. Make sure you lube these really good when you push it in. You don't want them to tear, because if the oil and coolant do mix, you know that it's all bad news. So we're gonna put like some rubber grease on here. We're gonna push this in. We're gonna secure it back with the 10s, and then we're gonna start putting the timing back together. All right, so all the timing stuff is now on. Looks complicated, but I'm gonna explain it real quick to show you. You can see that there's one orange mark on this chain, and there's two yellow. The yellows obviously are for the heads. The orange one is for this line on the crank gear. This still being where it needs to be. You follow it around and you can see that the yellow one goes on this dot here. Follow it to this dot here, and that you know the timing is set. If the keyway or the heads are off a little bit, as long as the colored markers on the chain line up, you'll be good with the timing. So that is actually not going to change anything between the links, on how many links are in between it. So that's why I said, like, if it's off a little bit, as long as the mark lines up on the yellow and on the orange, you'll be good to go. So I collapsed the tensioner, used a T-pin for that little hole right there to hold this in here, while I put the 8mm back on here, and this was able to keep the tension of the chain. Then I put the 210s on here and pulled it out, and now the chain is perfectly taut and ready to go. So the only other thing we have to do now is we're gonna use the actual Nissan liquid gasket stuff right here. It did come with some Permatex stuff, but the Nissan stuff is much stickier. I highly recommend using this. And then we're gonna put it all the way down here, around here, and then in each hole for here. And we'll put the front cover on and let that set. That will be it for this. I'm not gonna put the pan on, because the dude with the blown motor actually has a brand new pan, so we'll be putting that one on here when we go to swap it out. So I'm gonna do that now, go clean the front timing cover, and then we're gonna put the glue on here, and we're gonna get this thing sealed up. Last check, make sure every surface is cleaned off, dried off, so any of the silicone gasket doesn't smear. Make sure there's no issues. Also make sure, final check, that you put these two seals in. You guys are gonna wanna do that before you close this up and then wonder, did you do it? Everything on here looks good. So I have some of this left, so we're gonna use the rest of this, start putting it on, and then we're gonna put the cover on. All right, cover being all put on. Close these gaps.
I like to do it with my hand first just to make sure it's not binding on anything. So that way everything is going together naturally the way it should. Starting to squeeze out on the top. So I think everything is good. We got this stuff on the bottom, making a nice seal. So everything should be good. So I'm gonna put the bolts in it, suck it all down, and we're gonna let this dry. All right, and the cover, everything's back to normal on how it should be. If you guys run up, you can see how the squeeze is coming out. It's about what you should get. It shouldn't be excessive or too much. Down here, you're not gonna really see it because it's actually pretty far in. There's a couple pieces of like metal bracketry or whatever that I didn't put it out here. I put it on the inside, so you won't see it there, but I know that it's sealed, everything's on, everything's back together. So now we let it dry. But you guys already know that this isn't the end of it. Now we got another car that came in. We have to do some spark plugs, oil change, and some other stuff on. I got to set his ride height. So we're gonna pull that car in, and then me and this guy are trying to go to the track. So after we get that car knocked out, then we're gonna head to the track and enjoy the rest of tonight with some drifting. Okay, this is a car that's been here, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times. I've done a couple things, short shifter on it. I've adjusted his ride height, helped him out with a couple things, but I want to show you guys this car because it's super clean. I don't just get sideshow cars or unique cars or even LS swap cars. I get some super clean G's that are just normal factory cars that look good. It is a little low though, so I do need to raise it up. He lives, I think he said, over in Woodland, so it's a little bit too low. The roads over there are crap, so we need to raise it up some. But oil change, spark plugs, nothing real major. All right, thanks to my man Victor right here, we got the oil change done. We have the spark plugs all taken care of. We are dying in this freaking heat, having to do it outside because I cannot pull it into the garage because my car is down. However, you can see how much hang there is on this, even without any weight on the car. So I'm gonna have to raise this up about an inch, probably 1.25 inches. I'm gonna do it on both sides since this is in the air, and then we'll jack the back up, and I'm gonna go up about 3/4 inch. That should set it pretty level, and then this car will be ready for pickup. So yeah, I need to get out of this damn heat. It's killing me. All right, ride height all adjusted on the G. You can see it's still sitting pretty low. I decided to raise it up this much though before you guys start hating and talking a bunch of crap. It's sitting this way because he does live off of like a dirt road, and so his concern is it hitting something, damaging the engine. So I wanted it to be able to be low, still look good, but have the ride height where it's safe and manageable for him to actually drive his car home. So I think it looks good though. Function, or functionable, should I say. I raised it about 1 inch in the front and 1/2 inch in the rear. So the rake look still looks good, but I mean, it will be better if it was dumped, but like I said, he's concerned about driveways and all this other stuff. So all right, this car is now done, so we're gonna wait for him to pick it up, and then Victor and I are gonna head off to the track and we're gonna chill. It's gonna be a lot cooler out there. We're gonna have to sit in this menacing heat. All right, so we're heading out. We're gonna drop off Victor's car at his house, and then we're gonna carpool over to the track, hang out for a while, and yeah, we'll kind of watch some drifting. You guys get to see some of the like hometown local Wednesday night drifts, maybe meet a couple people, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So it's been a busy day, long day, but now it's time to just chill. I'm really looking forward to going to the track. I haven't been there in quite a while. All right, so we are just getting to the track now. You can hear it's pretty loud. I mean, I'm excited. I haven't been here in a long time. There's like a couple new things that I'll have to show you. Oh yeah, and I've been drinking this like liquid death lime water that this man got me turned on to. It's really not that bad. I thought it was just gonna be like, I don't know. Actually, I didn't even know what I was gonna expect, but it's pretty good. So if you haven't tried it, try it. But we're gonna go down here. We're gonna meet up with some homies and see what's going on. give like an overview of the track when we come past here. All right, drop Victor off, heading home, just about home. It's been a busy day. It's been a long day, but it's been a really good day. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content today. We got a lot done, set us up for the rest of the week as well. And we got to chill today, got to hang out, go to the track, and kind of just enjoy kind of why we build these cars in the first place. So I didn't really have like the big hype experience like we normally have, because I didn't have as many like friends and, you know, people that I used to drive with and people that I know out there. I think a lot of them took the day off. It is the last drift event of the month, so maybe they just weren't there, maybe they were busy, or maybe it's just coincidence that, you know, nobody was there. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the content today. Thank you guys so much for the love and the support, and always rock with me, as I always tell you. And I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna edit this video, hang out, relax, shower, and, you know, get ready for tomorrow. So hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Much love. Peace.